Y'all, we're back. It's Let's Talk Broncos. I'm Bri Maestas here with Zach Seegers and Joey Richards. I almost called you guys the other name again. I almost did it. Literally,
barely got it.
Literally focusing on not doing so, and I did it anyways. Wonder what else I can do today. We're here Monday through Friday, and as you can tell, it's been a long week, but it's fantastic, and we're happy to be here. Time to talk all things Denver Broncos with y'all. You can find all of Zach and Joey's excellent work on Mile High Sports, and you can find all of our previous episodes on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts, really. Joey, Zach, how are you both doing?
I'm doing really well. I had a great night yesterday. I went to the Kendrick concert, which was awesome.
Nice.
That was a really good time. I'm a little tired. I got home at like 1 a.m. and then had to start working at 6. So, but I'm here and I'm ready to talk Broncos.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, same. Feeling great. Excited. We have an awesome guest joining us today. And yeah, just running smoothly over at the Let's Talk Broncos podcast as always.
Usual.
We literally have this down to such an exact science that you wouldn't even know. Like we're so ready to go at this point.
Blowing out fuses, having to have our guest wait on us for 15 minutes because I totally set up the stream wrong. It's fantastic.
Beautiful.
Love it.
That's what we do here, and we're professionals, so we know how to handle it. Without further ado, I don't want to waste any more of our guest time. I'm so happy that she was able to give us some of her time because you can find her literally across the entire interwebs breaking down all things Broncos news, so you don't have to. Broncos for Dummies is your go-to source for all of your Denver Broncos fandom needs. You can find her basically everywhere: YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and she's new to Twitter, so make sure you give her a follow at Broncos for Dummies. Please welcome to the show, Des.
Hey!
We did,
oh my God. We did it. I love that you guys are like, I hate that I'm wasting her time. And I'm like, I have literally nowhere to be. So,
okay, you have to be careful with that because everyone will ask you to be on their show and like, go ahead, do it. But man,
yeah, now that you're on ours, it's like it's chum in the water. Now everyone's like,
oh boy,
you're gonna have like 20 DMs. Get ready.
Okay, so I need an assistant. Basically, this is the big leagues.
Yeah,
Yep.
Absolutely. I would hire somebody to take over all of your scheduling needs. But honestly, direct line to me, and we'll just set you up on the show.
And I'll just save you some time now. Ryan and Ben, those guys really unprofessional, total scrubs. If they reach out, just like politely ignore the DM.
Yeah. Got it. Okay, this is good. I'll write this down. Hey guys,
ask them what show is that again? Broncos Country Tonight? Is that
something like that?
Something. Yeah, it's like the more amateur
Broncos Nation Daily.
Oh yes.
Yeah. That's what we were going for here.
Pod beef alert.
Yeah, right.
Ooh,
that'd be a good one.
That would, new goal.
We're hitting high.
Des, when you're not too new to Twitter, once you've got yourself acclimated, we're going to come back to you with who do you want to start pod beef with, and so you're going to have to come back with an answer. Hopefully it's not us. Hopefully we can be on the same team, Survivor rules, so like we can vote somebody else off the island. But we'll let you, guest on those shows first before you make that decision. I think that's fair, right?
That's fair.
Okay.
But who do I start what with?
A pod beef. Like
pod beef
fight.
Yeah.
Podcast like disagreement, like drama.
You guys, okay. Yeah, I'm so new to Twitter.
Media drama.
Yeah.
To try and
okay.
Joey's long had the idea that we start fake social media drama to like drum up publicity.
I love it. Well, just like Zach, when I was on my round table, how you told me about Bri
100%
and her obsession with Brady. Yeah, that was harsh.
We had a podcast beef with MHRT.
Yeah.
Look who's got a host and look who doesn't.
Oh no!
God!
But, it's over. I'm not worried about it. In their smoldering ruins, what are you gonna do? But let's get into it. I don't want to sidetrack us any longer.
I don't think we have any other choice at this point. Des, are you ready for this episode?
Yeah,
I'm strapped in. All right, let's do this.
Strapped in, ready to go. The Denver Broncos had what some would call an awful showing against the Buffalo Bills, after having a pretty decent showing against the Cowboys. Tell me, and we're going to start basically, I think we'll start with Zach here in a second so we can kind of get this show on the road. But Broncos country freaked out a little bit. And I think that there was some who were very quick to smash that panic button and let us all know that the Broncos were trash and they're never going to win another game. So why don't we hop on over to why maybe that's not a thing, or maybe it is. I don't know. Takeaways from the preseason that matter. And let's start with wide receiver depth. Zach, take it away.
This is one that has jumped out to me. The moment Tim Patrick suffered his injury, and it's not to say that like that is a non-factor now, that's still going to have a big impact on how this team performs this year. But I think it was understandable concern. Like, you've got Cortland Sutton and maybe nothing else in that room now. The floor fell so low. And in that moment, I think it was. But since then, a lot of players have risen up and I think are going to be able to contribute on offense this year, and from some unlikely places. Montrell Washington is going to contribute on offense this year. And 2-3 weeks ago, it looked like that wasn't the case. Jalen Virgil and Brandon Johnson, I really think are going to contribute on this offense this year. Talking with people today, I think Kendall Hinton is going to be around on this team and is going to be making an impact on offense this year. KJ Hamler, I think we still don't know what he is off his ACL tear, but he's there. The upside is obviously great. Same thing goes for Judy. And then you've got Sutton. For me, it's just, I think we didn't know anything about this wide receiver depth, and it frankly looked really scary. And now I feel like these are the type of guys we'd see pop up in Seattle and just have success. I'm not saying they're going to be, elite receivers or even like remarkable, but I think the Broncos have found a lot of guys that can play and contribute for him this year. And while I still have some questions about maybe the top end of the room, I think the depth is very solid.
Yeah, I think the depth is. I'm still, so to be quite frank here, I'm a little more pessimistic than I think the average Broncos fan. I just always have been watching sports, and I still have to see them. While they look good against number 3 corners or number 2 corners, I still want to see it against the starters. I'm not ready to be like they'll be contributors, or big contributors. I think they're going to be forced to have to try, but I still have to see them actually produce, I guess would be my take there.
No, that's fair.
But
that's fair.
The depth is definitely there. It's the top level guys that I think it's really on Judy's shoulders to say, pick
Fully
up that
agree.
slack and produce. That's the guy.
That's
But
terrifying.
I'll say this, how many teams, and to be honest, I don't know every team's wide receiver 7. How many teams have a wide receiver 7 that looks as good as Jalen Virgil, or a wide receiver 6 that I think looks as promising as Brandon Johnson? I don't think there are a ton. I think there's a few, but yeah, I'm buying this wide receiver depth.
All right, enough of what you guys have to say. Des, what are you picking up out of the wide receiver core here for the Denver Broncos? Are you seeing anything you like? Are you concerns in that area?
Well, anyone that watches my stuff knows I never am concerned ever, because I just live in a world of rainbows.
Love it.
But I love that Montrell Washington is showing up just because he came from such a small school. It's such an underdog story, and I live for the story. So I'm stoked about Montrell. I'm stoked about Kendall Hinton. Those two I'm completely rooting for, because then we also got the quarterback saga with Hinton. So I go all based on what's their background. Those are my favorites.
I like it. I mean, the guys from Samford, I love the story that after the draft, he didn't even think he would get drafted. He was shocked he was drafted. Like, that's such a cool thing.
One of the most humble guys you'll ever talk to as well. Just the way that he handles himself, knowing kind of the predicament that he's put in and the opportunity that presents itself in front of him.
Yeah, he's a super easy guy to root for.
And he might be the best performing rookie right now. It was a guy that the moment the pick came out, lots of Broncos country was going, how could you draft this guy? This guy in the 5th round. This guy wasn't even supposed to get drafted in the 7th round. And now he's looking like the best of the rookies. It says something about the scouting department.
Yeah.
But so I being a hard-nosed journo here, I do have to ask a follow-up question, Des. You say you highlight Kendall Hinton and Montrell Washington, quote, as the 2 you're really rooting for. Why are you rooting so hard against Jalen Virgil and Brandon Johnson?
I'm gathering a little bias. Are those two your favorites?
Oh no, I wanted
She
to
just
Oh.
she doesn't
really
watch
rough
any
spot.
of your stuff. Basically.
I try to watch everything Zach
You don't
Sears
have
does
I
in his
don't
life.
No, we
Everything.
don't recommend that here.
Through the
at Let's
bushes.
Talk.
Oh, got it.
Yeah,
I'll stop.
I think you should avoid it. Matter of fact.
Got it. Okay, cool, cool, cool. I'm not rooting against them.
I know. I just had to,
you're
so
kidding.
optimistic. I needed to put you in a pessimistic box.
I get it, but it's so hard. Like, I have nothing against them. I think they're doing amazing, but they just don't have as great of a story that I can tell. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, that's easy to latch onto. But they're both doing great. I mean, in my last video, I was just talking about like how are they going to narrow down the wide receiver depth because I mean, everyone's doing so great. I mean, they did just cut who was it? Trey Quinn,
Yeah, Trey Quinn.
which I thought he was doing great. So proves that this is why I don't make the decisions. Okay. So you know what I mean?
And he did have a good game. Trey Quinn did have a good game last time.
That's
Yeah.
interesting coming out of Joey's mouth, considering I don't think that's what you were saying in the group chat. But we won't.
Well, I was the one who tweeted out like Trey Quinn is gonna be off the roster, and then he like went for 5 for 84 immediately following that tweet. I was right though.
He said,
Pretty much.
bet, Zach. Great, fantastic. Wide receiver depth is legit. Loving these banners. We're gonna move on over to the next preseason takeaway. Joey, Broncos need help at cornerback.
Yes, that is clear. I think that's clear. When you start looking at the Broncos cornerback room, I think the starters are going to be really good. Obviously we all love Surtain.
Man,
Surtain is that guy, and we're all so excited to see him this next year. I think Ronald Darby's really good too. I also am pretty sold on K'Wan Williams. I think those three I'm happy with.
I have a follow-up question for that.
Now, what I'm not sold on is, okay, you start looking at the injury history of these guys. K'Wan Williams has an extensive injury history. Now, it's all in short segments, but it's rare you see the guy finish out a season. Ronald Darby's only finished out a full season once in his entire career, and his are a little more in bigger gaps. So I'm under the influence that whoever the Broncos cornerback, third boundary cornerback is going to have to see the field this year, and he's going to have to play. And that's where I'm concerned. I'm not in love with Michael Ojemudia. Damari Mathis he's a rookie, right? So it's hard to hang your hat on that one. And then outside of it, it's like, who are we looking at? So it's a concern. I'm not saying that it's going to be terrible, but it's at least raises a question.
The Ojemudia injury also kind of raises the flag of who does step in there, and do you end up keeping a cornerback that you weren't necessarily anticipating on keeping?
Honestly, Damari Mathis has been better than Ojemudia to me through these two preseason games.
OJ's roster spot might be in trouble with how he's played.
Yeah, that's crazy, but wow. But I think he's been better, so I would assume that maybe he would be the guy that steps in. But like I said, he's a rookie. I would like to see the Broncos try to sign one at some point or something. Like they have a pretty high priority in the waiver wire, so that's something to keep an eye out if you're a Broncos fan. So if a guy gets cut, they may be able to go pick somebody up. I've heard Nate Harrison might have a hard tough. He's not a boundary corner,
That'd
but
be
still
a
nickel guy that you could go and grab. It's just something to keep an eye on and at least keep your hopes up for that room for sure.
And to your point on the injuries, I was just looking it up really quick. Ronald Darby is missing 4.1 games this season in his career, and K'Wan's missing 3.2. 3.3. So really kind of right in that same range. And when does attrition by injury typically happen during the season? Towards the end of the season? When are the Broncos playing the Chiefs twice? When are they playing the Chargers twice? When are they playing the Rams and Matt Stafford and all those teams? Late in the season.
Right.
As good as Damari Mathis has been, I don't think he's ready for those matchups.
Mahomes, Herbert, and Carr probably.
Yeah.
That's tough. I also want to point this out real quick. Cornerback is one of those positions you'd rather have a solid group than one individual really good player. And
you took the words out of my mouth because the injury prone just necessity out of the position happens.
Yeah. Yes. But here's
so if you have if you have one leaky player,
it could tank the whole
because that guy's just going to
thing
be
because
targeted every play. It
you
doesn't
can pick
matter
on
if
the
the other
bad
4
one.
players have great coverage.
Right. You can pick on the bad one, so it makes it tough. Like,
I think we
for
saw
the whole
that
room.
on Saturday.
Yeah, exactly.
Des, chime in here for me. Let me know, what are you seeing out of the secondary there with the cornerbacks? Are you leaning a certain way? Like, how do you feel about that position group in general?
I would say I'm leaning in the exact way everything you said. That's the way I'm leaning with you guys.
Yes, we won that one.
I know.
Let's
I have
go.
no issue at cornerback. I'm just here to support my team. I'm just
Oh,
here
I
so I don't get fined.
To that point, one of your takeaways from the preseason, and it was a pretty optimistic one. You think the Broncos are winning the Super Bowl this year, and you're not willing to hear any pushback. I think were your words. I might be misquoting you there. Why are you
Yes,
confident on the Broncos winning the Super Bowl now?
because if you say it, it shall be.
Speak it into existence.
Affirmations, yes, I'm working on those. I am a Super Bowl winner. I am. No, I don't know. Why not?
I like it.
Right? Why not think they're going to win the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
I think that is a way better place to be than, being really realistic about things. Why would I want to panic? It's better up here.
Listen, I have no problem with that. I like it when our fans are like irrationally, like, just
damn Joey
cocky. No, I'm that same way.
Calling you out. You watching at home.
I'll take it.
Yeah,
we're all irrational.
Listen, I have a friend who has been telling me that the Lions are going to win the Super Bowl since I was like,
one of these years,
12
man,
years
he'll
old.
be right and he'll be
right
one of these years.
And man, I enjoy it. I like it.
I mean, Des is speaking directly to my point, I think, here is when you don't want to panic about the Denver Broncos defense. I think what you saw against Buffalo was they gave up a lot of points, and a lot of those points came against, Josh Allen and Case Keenum. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
It's never going to leave my brain like that. I think in general, the run defense was non-existent, and overall, the line gave up way too many tackling opportunities. And I think that in general needs to be worked on. But I think what the great takeaway there is, although there was a ton of mistakes, Hackett did say, practice is going well. It wasn't quite Vance Joseph-esque, but it was, working on it, hope to rectify that issue as it comes. They held the Cowboys to 7 points. You've got the seconds and thirds playing against the starter. So there's a lot of variables that go into that. What were you going to say?
Yeah. And kind of to the practice point, the most meaningful thing that has happened for the Broncos offseason, or like the most meaningful practice, showing, exhibition, whatever you want to call it, that has happened so far for the Broncos this summer was the joint practice against the Cowboys, because it was the only time the ones played against the different teams ones in a highly competitive setting. Everyone was trying to win that. And the Broncos offense boat raced the Cowboys defense, and the Dallas offense couldn't get anything going against the Broncos defense, except for CeeDee Lamb burning Michael Ojemudia. But outside of that, it was very one-sided. And so I think there's a lot to be I don't know. There's a lot to be confident. Like Draymond Jones was holding up finger guns to dudes' heads, and it was earned.
Yeah, Zach turned my Ojemudia concern into Ojemudia slander. That was insane.
It was true. If you were at the joint practice,
listen, it was the delivery. It was a little under the breath. Oh, looks like Ojemudia.
My goodness. Des, tell me, why should Broncos country not panic? Give it to them straight.
Because why I'm laughing is you guys are what you say is so real and important. And what I'm thinking of saying, I hear myself before I say it, and I'm like, that's so stupid. Like, it's like, no, in the sense of like,
that's all that's blocking you from like,
right? No, but I'm saying in the sense of like,
radio success is the saying it part.
Yeah. Listen,
just don't stop yourself.
Here at Let's Talk Broncos,
there's no need.
Yeah. Shoot from the hip.
We don't
That's
even
the
really
motto.
think about it. Yeah.
Listen, we can't panic. It's preseason, and like I'm always saying, preseason matters, but also preseason doesn't matter. Like truly, It matters, but it doesn't matter. We're not going to know until we see them play September 12th. Like, I think we've had an amazing defense. We were top 3 maybe last year. I don't remember. We were great. And I think defense we've had locked in for the past couple of years. It's offense that we haven't really had. And now I finally think that's all coming together. So I think there's no need to panic until we are in game time, and that is when we can panic.
I think that's a great
come back to me then.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a lot of in the off season, there's a lot of overthinking sometimes. And that like people overthink everything, but that's not a bad take. The Broncos had a good defense last year. They haven't had a good offense. Now they have Russell Wilson. So like I think expectations should be pretty high for this team.
I just want to get back. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I just, as far as the off-season point, I think off-season can get to a lot of fans' heads because speaking for myself, when we lost this past game so badly, I was like, I was emotionally distraught and more than usual. And I was like, I have been in this delusional world all of off-season thinking of Russell Wilson. This is a new Broncos team. But then I had to remember, oh yeah, this is preseason. We can lose. I literally thought, I was like, we're going 17-0 this season. So it was a good reality check for at least me.
Right.
Des, I think that just further kind of exemplifies the idea that what they're doing right now in the preseason, as long as it doesn't happen in the regular season, that's a win. And to your last point, you don't have to panic because the Broncos are winning the Super Bowl. And we'll
Thank you.
We'll move on to the growing pains.
I'm sorry.
I was actually making a joke.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. Zach's not allowed to touch my buttons, but he does it anyway. This is the show that we run here. I was just trying to create a little bit of a segue, but there obviously will be growing pains. Things have to kind of maybe suck a little bit before they get better. Talk to us about what you're seeing from the Denver Broncos, the new era, the new coaching staff, the new quarterback. I think you're probably one of the bigger Russell Wilson fans that I know. Like, I love your videos that are just hyping him up because I think that's the energy that we need there for quarterback. Tell us about the growing pains, the new era, and what you think is coming out of this preseason rebirth for the Denver Broncos.
Well, as exciting as it is having a brand new start, brand new coaching staff, new owner, new quarterback, it's so easy to forget, like, whoa, we're starting brand new. Like, it's better than not having a quarterback like we haven't had, but we're all still getting in the groove, and our team is still very young. Like, Brandon McManus is the only Bronco left since Super Bowl 2015. Like, we have a lot new people, and I think it's easy to be excited about all the new things, but then you have to be like, okay, realistically, there's gonna be some bumps, and you got to remember that just with this new coaching staff and Hackett being a first-time head coach, because a lot of people are giving him critique about not playing like his starters during preseason, and it's like, oh, we'll see. He's a new head coach. Maybe this is his way, and so it's sort of like we're getting used to that too, you know?
Yeah.
It's true. I've spoken about this. Like, people forget that when Tom Brady went to Tampa Bay at the beginning, it wasn't all easy sailing from the beginning. I remember that Saints game.
You're right.
he had some interceptions. When Peyton Manning first came to the Broncos, it wasn't all great at the beginning. It was really towards the end of the season where they really started kicking in, both of them. And you saw everything come together. It was clicking later. And yeah, everything's new. Everything is really, really new. They're not even playing in the preseason. So I totally expect there to be growing pains as well. But to that point, you probably shouldn't freak out until later in the season.
Fully agree.
I think that's fair. Des, real quickly, what is one thing that you're looking forward to out of Saturday's game against the Minnesota Vikings? Anything you're going to be watching for? What do you think the last takeaway from the preseason is going to be?
Unless I'm missing something, is the backup quarterback duel
that's
finished
a real
or
battle.
finalized?
No, that's a big thing.
I think that's what I'm looking at, because they're neck and neck, honestly. Like, you thought Josh Johnson, now you're thinking Brett, and I think Brett's starting this Saturday. So I love it. I love some good challenges, some good battle royales
I love
up on that field.
competition makes the heart grow fonder. I don't think that's the saying, but
That's what they say. Yes. Yes.
Des, you have been an absolutely tremendous guest. We were so excited to get you on this week. I know you're a busy lady with a lot of, even though you're going to downplay it a little bit and say you have all the time, we appreciate you making the time for us here today. I do want to open the floor up to you for, you can give a message to Broncos country. You can tell them where to find all of your absolutely incredible work. You can promote yourself. I wouldn't suggest promoting others, but you seem like a really generous person if you want to do that too. The floor is yours. Do with it as you wish.
Right, promoting specifically Ryan and Ben. Got it.
No.
So okay. So so I run an account, Broncos for Dummies. I make videos about all things Broncos news, and I break it down to just very easy, digestible things. And I created this channel because I was that fan and I wanted things to be easily digestible, and I was like, I'm not finding that anywhere. So thus she created it. So yeah, you can find anything. If you ever want me to cover anything, shoot me a DM. Way more active on Instagram than Twitter, but you guys are teaching me Twitter things. So slowly but surely. But yes, like Bri said at the beginning, Broncos for Dummies everywhere, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and then Broncos for Dummies, because Twitter makes it hard, on Twitter.
Yeah, we have it. We made you a little banner.
Yeah, written like
with
that.
a little
Except for on
banner
Twitter where
like
it's
that.
But on Instagram, she's doing all the reels, the TikToks, all those things. So Broncos for Dummies
those
written as
things.
this right there. Thank you so much,
Oof,
Deb.
yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Of
Thank
course.
You've been
Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, thank you. We'll have to have you on again soon, especially if we make that charge for the Super Bowl and your prediction comes to fruition. We can't wait to have you on.
Oh my God. Can you imagine, you guys?
Yeah,
so I say it jokingly, and then I'm like, oh my God.
I think that's your
little TBT clip from this episode.
That, and I
yes.
That, and I think you need to do the heel turn and just become really villainous and be like, I fucking told you, you know,
I told
me. The comment section was doubting me.
Yeah.
Right.
Who's laughing now? Who do you think you are? I am. I think you just gotta commit to the
I
bit.
will. You think I won't? I will.
Yeah, I believe wholeheartedly in everything that you do. Thank you for bringing all of it tonight. We appreciate you. I'm going to bid you farewell and release you back into the wild. Thank you, Des.
Thank you.
Why, thank you all. See you guys.
We'll see you soon. Fantastic. What an absolutely incredible guest for us tonight. We had to get ahead of the curve because I believe Des is going to be everywhere here shortly as she brings you all of the fantastic content there is in Broncos country for fans and everyone alike. I'm super excited to just do the show and bring in the new guests that you may not be seeing everywhere, because that's what we do here. Joey, Zach, tell the people where they can find all of your work before we get out of here.
Everyone go follow me at JR Drafts, and then check out my writing at Mile High Sports.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Find me on Twitter at Zach_Seegers. And then all my writing over at milehighsports.com. Our new articles like every single day about the Broncos. Tomorrow, there's going to be a piece dropping that is all Broncos on the hot seat entering this last game. I'm not just taking like the low hanging fruit either, like the guys we know aren't making the roster. I'm talking about just all the different gradients, like the guys that are safe, the guys that aren't making the roster, the guys that are on the bubble. I'm tiering it all for you guys. It's going to be a massive fat article with a ton of good nuggets for you. So eyes peeled for that.
I absolutely love the way that he just sold that just now. Like, I'm a big fan of it. You can follow me on Twitter, BriMaestis303, and catch me here with the guys Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. You can also catch me on the Fan Cave 1 to 2 p.m. on Mile High Sports Radio, 98.1 FM. Anything else? Nope. See you tomorrow. Happy Thursday night. Thanks, everybody. Let's go Broncos, and let's ride.
Let's ride.
Let's ride.